I'm sure you've heard the news. The universe is full of secrets we're still trying to unravel. Ready to dive in? From the elusive dark matter, making up 27% of the universe, yet invisible to our eyes, to dark energy, pushing the cosmos to expand faster and faster. And what about the Big Bang? It explains our beginning, but leaves us asking what came before. Consider the fine-tuning of physical constants. Why are they just right for life? Then there's the Fermi Paradox. With billions of stars, where are all the aliens? Black holes hold their own enigmas with singularities and the mind-boggling information paradox. Now let's get speculative. What if our universe is just one of many in a vast multiverse? These mysteries push the boundaries of our knowledge and ignite our curiosity. So keep looking up, stay curious, and remember, the universe is a vast, wondrous place just waiting to be explored. Mysteries of universe. The universe, with its vast expanse and complex phenomena, harbors numerous mysteries that continue to captivate scientists, philosophers, and enthusiasts alike. Here's an exploration of some of these mysteries based on current understanding and discussions. Dark matter and dark energy. Dark matter constitutes about 27% of the universe's mass energy content, but doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it invisible. Its existence is inferred from gravitational effects on visible matter. The nature of dark matter particles remains unknown, with candidates like WIMPs, weakly interacting massive particles, and axions being theorized. Dark energy, roughly 68% of the universe, responsible for the accelerated expansion of the universe. Its nature is even more enigmatic than dark matter. Theories range from a cosmological constant, vacuum energy, to more exotic concepts like quintessence, a dynamic field that might vary over time and space. The origin of the universe Big Bang theory. While widely accepted, it doesn't explain what came before or what caused the Big Bang. The concept of a singularity at the beginning raises questions about the laws of physics under such conditions. Quantum fluctuations. Some theories suggest the universe could have arisen from quantum fluctuations in a pre-existing vacuum, but what this vacuum was or how it existed remains speculative. The fine-tuning of physical constants. Why are the fundamental physical constants, like the gravitational constant, Planck's constant, etc., so precisely tuned to allow for the existence of stars, planets, and life? The anthropic principle suggests that we observe these conditions because they are necessary for our existence, but it doesn't explain why these conditions exist. Life in the universe, Fermi Paradox. Given the age and size of the universe, why haven't we found evidence of extraterrestrial life or civilizations? This paradox challenges our understanding of life's prevalence and the technological development of civilizations. The search for life, the discovery of extremophiles on Earth and exoplanets in habitable zones suggests life might be common, but the transition from simple life to complex, intelligent life remains poorly understood. Black holes singularities. What happens at the center of a black hole? General relativity predicts a singularity, but quantum mechanics suggests something else might be at play, potentially involving quantum gravity. Information paradox. Stephen Hawking's work suggested that information could be lost in black holes, contradicting quantum mechanics. Recent theories like the idea of black hole complementarity or the ER equals sign EPR conjecture attempt to resolve this. The multiverse theories in cosmology and quantum mechanics suggest there might be multiple universes. While intriguing, direct evidence for a multiverse remains elusive, making it a speculative yet profound mystery. Consciousness and the universe. How consciousness arises from physical processes in the brain remains one of the hardest problems in science. Some theories, like integrated information theory, attempt to bridge physics with consciousness, suggesting the universe itself might have some form of proto-consciousness. Time arrow of time. Why does time have a direction? While entropy provides one explanation, the fundamental reason for time's arrow, especially in the context of quantum mechanics, remains debated. Time travel. Theoretical physics allows for concepts like wormholes or closed time-like curves, but practical or observational evidence for time travel remains non-existent. The ultimate fate of the universe. Will the universe expand forever, leading to a heat death, or could it collapse back into a singularity, Big Crunch? Or might there be a cyclic model where universes expand and contract indefinitely? Conclusion: these mysteries highlight the limits of our current scientific understanding while pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible. They inspire ongoing research, philosophical debate, and technological innovation in the quest to unravel the universe's secrets. Each mystery not only challenges our knowledge, but also underscores the vastness of what remains unknown, fueling humanity's curiosity and drive for discovery. Continuing from the previous exploration of cosmic mysteries, let's delve into some more profound questions and phenomena that continue to intrigue scientists and thinkers. The nature of infinity. Mathematical infinity. In mathematics, infinity is a concept that defies traditional arithmetic rules. The idea that there are different sizes of infinity, for example, countable versus uncountable infinities, challenges our intuitive understanding of numbers. Cosmological infinity. If the universe is infinite, what does that mean for its structure, the distribution of matter, and the concept of causality? An infinite universe might contain infinite copies of us, leading to philosophical quandaries about identity and uniqueness. Quantum mechanics and reality wave particle. Duality. How can particles like electrons exhibit both wave-like and particle-like properties? The double-slit experiment, where particles seem to know they're being observed, challenges our understanding of reality. Quantum entanglement. Einstein's spooky action at a distance remains one of the most baffling phenomena, suggesting particles can be instantaneously correlated regardless of distance, potentially violating locality. Measurement problem. What constitutes a measurement in quantum mechanics? The Copenhagen interpretation, many worlds theory, and other interpretations offer vastly different views on the nature of reality itself. The origin of life, abiogenesis. How did life arise from non-living matter? While experiments like Miller-Urey have shown how basic organic compounds could form, the leap to self-replicating entities remains a significant gap in our understanding. RNA world hypothesis suggests RNA might have been the first self-replicating molecule, but how RNA itself formed and evolved into DNA and proteins is still under investigation. The holographic principle, black hole information. This principle suggests that all the information contained in a volume of space can be described by a theory that operates on the boundary of that volume. Applied to the universe, it implies our 3D reality might be a projection of information on a 2D surface akin to a hologram. The fine structure constant alpha, this dimensionless physical constant, approximately 1/137th, governs the strength of electromagnetic interactions. Its precise value, seemingly arbitrary, has puzzled physicists. Why is it this value, and could it be different in other parts of the universe or in other universes? The nature of space-time quantum gravity. Reconciling quantum mechanics with general relativity remains one of the biggest challenges in physics. Theories like string theory, loop quantum gravity, and others attempt to describe space-time at the smallest scales, but experimental verification remains elusive. The existence of parallel universes, many worlds interpretation. In quantum mechanics, this theory posits that every quantum event causes the universe to split into multiple realities, each representing a different outcome. While mathematically consistent, it raises profound questions about reality, consciousness, and the nature of choice. The universe's information content, entropy, and information. The universe's entropy increases, but what does this mean for information? Some theories suggest the universe might be fundamentally informational, leading to ideas like the universe as a giant quantum computer or information processor. The Fermi Paradox revisited Great Filter. If intelligent life is common, where is it? The Great Filter theory suggests there's a barrier that prevents civilizations from reaching or surviving to the point of interstellar communication. The mystery lies in whether this filter is behind us, for example, the evolution of life, or ahead, for example, self-destruction through technology. The nature of nothing, vacuum energy. Even in a vacuum, quantum fields exhibit fluctuations. What is this nothing that has energy? This leads to questions about the nature of zero-point energy and whether true nothingness can exist. The consciousness quantum connection observer. Effect. Quantum mechanics suggests that observation affects the state of particles. Could consciousness play a role in the collapse of quantum wave functions? This speculative area bridges physics with philosophy and psychology. The ultimate theory of everything, unified field theory. While the standard model of particle physics explains 3 of the 4 fundamental forces, gravity remains outside this framework. A theory that unifies all forces into one coherent framework remains a holy grail of physics. Conclusion. These mysteries not only highlight the vastness of our ignorance, but also the boundless potential for discovery. Each question pushes the limits of our current paradigms, encouraging new theories, experiments, and technologies. The pursuit of these answers isn't just about solving puzzles, but about understanding our place in the cosmos, the nature of existence itself, and potentially the fundamental laws that govern everything from the smallest particle to the universe's largest structures. The journey into these mysteries is as much philosophical as it is scientific, inviting us to ponder not just how, but why. It's a testament to human curiosity, where each answer often leads to more questions, driving the cycle of inquiry that defines scientific and philosophical exploration. As we continue to probe these depths, we might not only uncover the secrets of the universe, but also learn more about ourselves and our capacity for wonder, understanding project completion. If you're referring to finishing a project or task, the sentiment often involves a mix of relief, satisfaction, and sometimes a bit of melancholy. Here's how I might encapsulate that feeling. And with that final touch, it's done. The project that once was just an idea now stands complete. There's a unique blend of relief and nostalgia, isn't there? The journey from inception to completion is filled with learning, challenges, and growth. Now, as we stand at the end, there's a moment to reflect on what was achieved, what could have been, and what's next. Congratulations on reaching this milestone, and here's to the next adventure. Life goals or challenges. If it refers to a personal goal or overcoming a challenge, you've done it. Whatever it was for you, whether climbing that mountain, finishing that degree, or overcoming a personal hurdle, you've crossed the finish line. Remember this moment not just for the achievement, but for the journey. Each step, each stumble, and every push forward has led I here. Now, what's the next peak on I horizon? In a creative or artistic context, if you're talking about completing a piece of art, writing, or any creative work, the canvas is filled, the last note played, or the final word written, I creation now complete tells a story from start to finish. It's a snapshot of I vision, I emotions, and I skill at that moment. Celebrate this piece, for it's not just an end, but a beginning of its life in the world, waiting to inspire, provoke thought, or simply be enjoyed. In a relationship or social context, if it might refer to a phase in a relationship or a social event. And so we've come full circle. Whether it's the end of an event, a chapter in our relationship, or a phase of friendship, completion here doesn't mean an end, but a transition. We've shared, grown, and experienced together. Here's to what we've built and to the new beginnings that await us. This response aims to capture the essence of completion across various human endeavors, reflecting on the journey, the achievement, and the anticipation of what comes next, tailored to resonate with the emotional and psychological completion of tasks or phases in life. The Quran, as the central religious text of Islam, touches upon various aspects of the universe in ways that have intrigued both believers and scholars, especially when viewed through the lens of modern science and philosophical inquiry. Here's how these mysteries are often discussed or interpreted in relation to the Quran. The creation of the universe, Big Bang theory. Some interpret verses like Quran 20:1-30, which mentions that the heavens and the earth were once joined together before being parted, as an allusion to the Big Bang theory. This verse has been cited by some as evidence of the Quran's foresight in describing the universe's origin. Expansion of the universe. Quran 51:47 mentions the sky being built with power and how it expands. This has been linked by some scholars to the cosmological expansion observed by modern astronomy. The nature of stars and planets. Stars as missiles. The Quran describes stars in a way that could be seen as metaphorical or symbolic, like in Quran 67:5, where stars are described as missiles to pelt devils. This might not directly align with astronomical functions, but reflects a poetic or symbolic interpretation of celestial bodies. Planetary motion. While not explicitly detailed, the Quran's mention of celestial bodies moving in orbits, Quran 21:33, resonates with the understanding of planetary motion, life and water. Water as the basis of life. Quran 21:30 also states that from water every living thing was made, which aligns with scientific understanding of water's role in life processes. The unseen and the unknown, the Gaib, unseen. The Quran frequently refers to knowledge of the unseen, ghaib, being with Allah alone. This concept encompasses mysteries beyond human comprehension, including cosmic phenomena. Mysterious letters. At the beginning of several chapters, the Quran features disconnected letters. For example, alif, lam, mim, whose meanings are not explicitly explained, leading to much speculation and interpretation, possibly hinting at divine mysteries. Philosophical and theological mysteries. Purpose and design. The Quran often points to the universe's design as evidence of a creator, challenging believers to ponder over these signs. Quran 3, 190, 191. This encourages a philosophical inquiry into the purpose and order of the universe. The afterlife and cosmic justice. While not directly about the physical universe, the Quran's descriptions of the afterlife and resurrection touch on metaphysical mysteries, suggesting a continuity or transformation of existence beyond physical death. Interpretative challenges. Metaphor verses. Literal. Much of what's in the Quran regarding the universe could be metaphorical or symbolic, intended for spiritual guidance rather than scientific accuracy. Interpreting these texts as scientific predictions can be contentious. Historical context. The Quran was revealed in a time without modern scientific understanding, so its descriptions are often in terms that were comprehensible to its initial audience. Modern interpretations. Contemporary Muslim scholars and scientists often look for parallels between Quranic descriptions and modern scientific discoveries, though this approach is not without its critics, who argue for a more traditional, non-scientific interpretation. The Quran's approach to the mysteries of the universe invites reflection, wonder, and submission to the divine will, rather than providing a detailed scientific manual. Its verses encourage believers to contemplate the creation's signs, leading to a deeper appreciation of both the known and unknown aspects of the universe. Time and eternity. The concept of time. The Quran speaks of time in ways that challenge human perceptions. For instance, Quran 70:4 mentions a day with Allah being like 1,000 years of what I count, and Quran 22:47 extends this to 50,000 years. This could be interpreted as an invitation to ponder on the relativity of time, aligning with modern physics concepts like time dilation. Eternal life. The notion of an afterlife where time operates differently or not at all. Eternity touches on existential mysteries about the nature of existence beyond physical life. The nature of knowledge, divine knowledge. The Quran asserts that Allah's knowledge encompasses everything, including what's hidden or yet to be discovered by humanity. This touches on the mystery of knowledge itself. What is knowable, what remains forever hidden, and how divine omniscience interacts with human discovery. Human limits. Verses like Quran 17:85 remind humans of their limited knowledge, encouraging humility in the face of the universe's vastness and complexity. The universe's purpose, creation for a purpose. The Quran often states that everything in the universe was created for a purpose. For example, Quran 3:191. This raises philosophical questions about the purpose of existence, the role of humanity, and how everything fits into a divine plan. Signs for reflection. The Quran uses the term ayat, signs, for both verses of the Quran and phenomena in the universe, suggesting that the universe itself is a text to be read and understood, leading to contemplation on its mysteries. The concept of barzakh, intermediary realms. Quran 23:100 speaks of a barrier, barzakh, between the living and the dead and between the seas. This concept might be interpreted as discussing boundaries or interfaces between different states of existence or physical realities, akin to modern theories about dimensional barriers or quantum mechanics. The universe's end day of judgment. While not a scientific prediction, the Quran's descriptions of the end times and the reshaping of the universe, for example, Quran 81:1-2, invite contemplation on the ultimate fate of the cosmos, aligning with cosmological theories about the universe's end, whether it be a big crunch, big freeze, or something else. Interpretative approaches, tafsir, exegesis. Scholars through the ages have provided various interpretations of these verses, some leaning towards literal readings, others towards metaphorical or philosophical interpretations. Modern science and Quran. There's the Quran's approach to cosmic mysteries, creation and expansion of the universe. The Quran's mention of the heavens and earth being joined together, then parted, Quran 21:30, has been interpreted by some modern scholars as an allusion to the Big Bang theory. This interpretation sees the Quranic narrative as aligning with the scientific understanding of the universe's origin and its subsequent expansion, as described in Quran 51:47. Embryology and biology, descriptions of embryonic development in the Quran have been noted for their accuracy, reflecting a knowledge beyond the 7th century context. This has led to discussions on how the Quran might hint at scientific truths, encouraging believers to see these descriptions as signs of divine knowledge. Astronomy and celestial bodies. The Quran speaks of celestial bodies in orbits, Quran 21:33, which resonates with modern astronomy. This not only reflects an understanding of planetary motion, but also invites contemplation on the order and design of the cosmos. The nature of time. Verses like Quran 74 and 22:47 discuss time in ways that could be interpreted through the lens of relativity, where time's perception varies significantly from human experience to divine perspective. Philosophical and theological insights. The Quran's approach often encourages philosophical inquiry into the purpose of creation, the nature of knowledge, and the existence of the unseen, ghaib. This aligns with human curiosity about the universe's mysteries, suggesting that while some knowledge might be beyond human grasp, the pursuit of understanding is divinely encouraged. Interpretative challenges. The Quran's language, often metaphorical or symbolic, invites various interpretations. While some see direct scientific predictions, others view these verses as spiritual guidance, not intended to be scientific, but to inspire awe and contemplation of divine creation. Conclusion. The Quran's engagement with the universe's mysteries can be seen as multifaceted. Scientific compatibility. Some interpretations find compatibility with modern science, suggesting the Quran's timelessness by aligning its descriptions with contemporary scientific theories. Spiritual and philosophical guidance. Beyond science, the Quran uses cosmic phenomena to point towards divine signs, encouraging believers to ponder over creation's complexity, which inherently leads to a deeper spiritual connection and philosophical understanding. Encouragement of inquiry. The Quran's approach doesn't stifle scientific inquiry, but rather encourages it, suggesting that seeking knowledge about the universe is a form of worship, aligning with the Islamic ethos of learning. This synthesis reflects how the Quran addresses cosmic mysteries, not just through potential scientific foresight, but through a broader invitation to reflect, learn, and marvel at the universe's design, thereby integrating science, philosophy, and spirituality into a cohesive worldview. Practical and philosophical implications. Encouragement of scientific inquiry. The Quran's approach to the universe's mysteries has historically fostered a culture of learning and scientific exploration within Islamic civilizations. This is exemplified by the contributions of Muslim scholars in various fields like astronomy, mathematics, and medicine during the Islamic Golden Age. Humility and awe. By presenting the universe as a collection of signs, ayat, the Quran instills a sense of humility in believers. The vastness and complexity of creation are meant to evoke awe, reminding humans of their place in the cosmos and the limits of their understanding. Integration of faith and reason. The Quran's treatment of cosmic phenomena encourages an integration of faith with reason. It suggests that belief in the unseen, ghaib, does not preclude rational inquiry, but complements it, providing a framework where scientific discovery can coexist with religious faith. Modern interpretations and challenges, reconciling science and scripture. Modern Muslim scholars and thinkers often engage in reconciling scientific discoveries with Quranic descriptions. This can lead to innovative interpretations, but also to debates about the nature of these texts, whether they are meant to be taken literally, metaphorically, or as a blend of both. The role of metaphor. Recognizing that much of the Quran's language is metaphorical or symbolic helps in navigating the tension between scientific facts and religious texts. This approach allows for a dynamic understanding where scientific advancements can be seen as unveiling layers of meaning in Quranic verses. Educational impact. In Islamic education, these discussions can inspire a curriculum that integrates science with Islamic studies, promoting a holistic education where students are encouraged to see science as a path to understanding Allah's creation more deeply. Philosophical reflections, the purpose of creation. The Quran's mention of everything being created with purpose invites philosophical reflection on what that purpose might be, from the perspective of both individual existence and the universe as a whole. Divine omniscience, the idea that Allah knows all, including what's hidden or yet to be discovered, challenges human notions of discovery and knowledge. It suggests that human scientific endeavors are not about discovering new truths, but uncovering what's already known to the divine. The nature of reality. Discussions on topics like time, the unseen, and the afterlife in the Quran touch on metaphysical questions about reality itself, inviting believers to consider the universe beyond its physical manifestations. Conclusion. The Quran's engagement with the universe's mysteries provides not just a narrative of creation, but a philosophical and spiritual framework for understanding our place within it. It encourages a quest for knowledge, positioning learning and scientific exploration as acts of worship, a balanced perspective where awe and humility coexist with curiosity and inquiry. A unified worldview where science, philosophy, and spirituality are not seen as conflicting, but as complementary paths to understanding the divine creation. This holistic approach not only enriches the believer's spiritual life, but also contributes to a culture where the pursuit of knowledge is seen as a divine mandate. The mysteries of the universe, as presented in the Quran, serve as a perpetual invitation to explore, reflect, and marvel at the intricacy of Allah's design, fostering a continuous dialogue between the seen and the unseen, the known and the yet to be discovered. In essence, the Quran's treatment of cosmic mysteries is not merely about explaining phenomena, but about guiding humanity towards a deeper appreciation of existence, encouraging a life of inquiry, reflection, and reverence for the Creator through the lens of His creation. Mysteries of infinity. The concept of infinity, while seemingly straightforward, encompasses profound mysteries that have puzzled mathematicians, philosophers, and scientists for centuries. Here are some of the key mysteries and intriguing aspects of infinity: actual versus potential infinity. Aristotle's distinction. Aristotle differentiated between actual infinity, an infinity that exists all at once, and potential infinity, an infinity that can always grow but is never complete. This distinction raises questions about whether true actual infinity can exist in the physical world or if it's purely a mathematical abstraction. Different sizes of infinity. Cardinal numbers. Georg Cantor's set theory introduced the idea that there are different sizes of infinity, represented by cardinal numbers. For instance, the infinity of counting numbers, 0, is smaller than the infinity of real numbers, the cardinality of the continuum, often denoted by C or 2.0. This leads to the continuum hypothesis. This posits that there is no set of numbers with a cardinality strictly between 0 and C. While this hypothesis was shown to be independent of standard set theory by Kurt Gödel and Paul Cohen, its truth or falseness remains a philosophical and mathematical mystery. Infinity in physics, cosmological infinity. If the universe is infinite, what does that mean for its structure, the distribution of matter, and the concept of causality? An infinite universe might contain infinite copies of us, leading to philosophical quandaries about identity and uniqueness. Black holes and singularities. At the center of black holes, where density becomes infinite, our understanding of physics breaks down. What happens at these singularities remains one of the deepest mysteries, potentially involving quantum gravity, philosophical implications, the infinite regress. If everything has a cause, what caused the first cause? This leads to discussions about whether an infinite regress of causes is logically coherent, or if there must be an uncaused cause, touching on theological arguments. Potential paradoxes. Concepts like Hilbert's paradox of the Grand Hotel illustrate the counterintuitive properties of infinity, where adding or removing an infinite number of guests doesn't change the hotel's occupancy. Mathematical mysteries, the axiom of choice. This axiom, which allows selection of an element from each set in an infinite collection of sets, leads to some counterintuitive results and has been a source of debate. Its implications on the nature of infinity in mathematics are profound. Infinite series, the behavior of infinite series, like the harmonic series, which diverges despite each term approaching 0, challenges our intuitive understanding of infinity. Computational infinity Turing machines. In theoretical computer science, Turing machines can run indefinitely, exploring the concept of infinity in computation. However, practical computers deal with finite state. highlighting the gap between theoretical and practical infinity, theological and existential reflections. Divine infinity. Many theological traditions describe God or the divine as infinite, leading to discussions on how an infinite being interacts with a finite world. Human experience. The concept of infinity in time, eternity, or space challenges human comprehension, often leading to existential reflections on life, death, and the nature of existence itself. Conclusion. Infinity as a concept transcends mere numerical value, touching on the essence of existence, the limits of human understanding, and the nature of reality itself. Whether approached through mathematics, physics, philosophy, or theology, infinity remains one of the most profound and enigmatic ideas, continually pushing the boundaries of what we think we know about the universe and ourselves. Each exploration into infinity not only reveals more about its nature, but also about the depth of our curiosity and the limits of our perception. Infinity in art and literature. Symbolism. Infinity often symbolizes the eternal, the boundless, or the transcendent in art and literature. The Mobius strip, for example, represents infinity in a tangible form where there's no beginning or end. Literary devices. Writers like Jorge Luis Borges in The Library of Babel or The Aleph explore infinity through narrative, where the concept becomes a lens through which to examine human experience, knowledge, and the universe's structure. Psychological and cognitive aspects. Human perception. How humans conceptualize infinity can differ widely. Cognitive science explores how we grasp concepts like endlessness or boundlessness, which often defy our everyday experience. Fear and awe. Infinity can evoke both wonder and existential dread. The realization of one's place in an infinite universe can lead to feelings of insignificance or, conversely, profound connection with the cosmos. Technological infinity. Data and storage. In the digital age, concepts like infinite data storage or infinite processing power are theoretical ideals that drive technology, though practically we deal with finite resources. Virtual realities. The creation of virtual worlds that can theoretically expand indefinitely touches on practical applications of infinity, where the boundaries are limited only by computational power and imagination. Mystical and spiritual interpretations. Meditation and infinity. In many meditative practices, contemplating infinity or the infinite nature of consciousness or the universe is used as a method to transcend the ego or the finite self. Cosmic consciousness. Some spiritual traditions speak of an experience of unity or oneness with the universe, often described in terms of infinite consciousness or boundless love. Educational and pedagogical challenges. Teaching infinity. Educators face the challenge of conveying the concept of infinity to students in a way that's both accurate and comprehensible, often using paradoxes, visual aids, or real-world analogies. Philosophical development. Introducing infinity at an early age can also serve as a foundation for philosophical thinking, encouraging students to ponder the nature of reality, knowledge, and existence. Conclusion. The exploration of infinity, whether through mathematical theorems, philosophical inquiries, artistic expressions, or spiritual practices, reveals not just the complexity of the concept itself, but also the richness of human thought and imagination. Infinity serves as a mirror, reflecting back on human limitations and aspirations. A frontier, pushing the boundaries of what we understand about our universe and ourselves. An inspiration, driving innovation in science, art, and technology by challenging us to think beyond the immediate and the tangible. Infinity, in its myriad interpretations and applications, continues to be a fertile ground for discovery, reflection, and creativity, embodying both the known and the unknowable aspects of existence. It's a concept that, while elusive, invites us to continually expand our horizons, both intellectually and spiritually. The concept of infinity as the reverse of singularity presents an intriguing philosophical and mathematical perspective. Here's how this idea can be explored. Singularity in mathematics and physics. Mathematical singularities. In mathematics, singularities are points where a function or equation becomes undefined or infinite. For instance, in the function 1x, as x approaches 0 from either side, the function approaches infinity or negative infinity, representing a singularity. Physical singularities. In physics, singularities often refer to points where physical quantities, like density or curvature in general relativity, become infinite or undefined, such as at the center of black holes or at the Big Bang. Infinity as the opposite or reverse conceptual opposites. If a singularity represents a point of infinite density or where space-time curvature becomes infinite, infinity could be conceptualized as the opposite in terms of spread or extension. Where a singularity compresses everything into a point, infinity expands everything into an unbounded realm. Spatial analogy. Imagine a singularity as the smallest point where all matter or information is condensed. Infinity, in contrast, could be visualized as the infinite expanse where everything is spread out to the point of being everywhere and nowhere specifically. Philosophical interpretations from one to all, a singularity might symbolize the origin or the unity of everything where all diversity converges. Infinity, conversely, could represent the ultimate diversity or the infinite possibilities that arise from that unity, time and space. In terms of time, a singularity might represent the beginning or end, like the Big Bang or a black hole singularity, whereas infinity could symbolize eternal duration or timelessness. Spatially, a singularity is a point of zero volume, while infinity might be considered as boundless space. Theological and mystical perspectives, creation and expansion. In some theological views, the universe might start from a singular point, God or a divine singularity, and expand into infinity, representing the divine's omnipresence or the infinite nature of creation. Consciousness. Some mystical traditions speak of consciousness as being both singular, a unified field, and infinite, capable of infinite experiences or manifestations. Mathematical and logical exploration, set theory. In set theory, the smallest infinity, zero, could be seen as the singularity of infinite sets from which larger infinities, like the continuum, expand, representing different levels of infinity. Limits and continuity. In calculus, limits approaching infinity can be seen as the reverse process of approaching a singularity where functions diverge rather than converge. Cosmological implications. Universe's structure. If the universe originated from a singularity, Big Bang, its expansion into an infinite or near-infinite structure could be viewed as the unfolding of that singularity into infinity. This perspective aligns with cosmological models where the universe might be infinite in size or could have infinite potential futures. Black holes. Black holes, which contain singularities, might also be gateways to other universes or dimensions, suggesting a cycle where singularities lead to new infinities, or vice versa, in a cosmic feedback loop. Artistic and literary representation symbolism. Artists and writers might use the interplay between singularity and infinity to explore themes of origin and expansion, unity and diversity, or the finite within the infinite. For instance, a point of light in a vast darkness could symbolize this duality. Narrative structure. Stories might begin with a singular event or character, expanding into a narrative universe that explores infinite possibilities or outcomes, mirroring the singularity-infinity dynamic. Conclusion. The concept of infinity as the reverse of singularity offers a profound way to think about the nature of existence, from the microcosmic to the macrocosmic scale. It encapsulates a dialectic between concentration and expansion, unity and multiplicity. A narrative of creation where everything emerges from a point to spread infinitely. A paradox, where the infinitely small and the infinitely large might be two sides of the same coin, challenging our perceptions of space, time, and existence itself. This perspective not only enriches our understanding of physical and mathematical concepts, but also deepens philosophical, theological, and creative inquiries into the essence of reality, suggesting that within every singularity lies the potential for infinite expression, and within every infinity, the possibility of singular points of origin or focus. Technological and computational perspectives. Data and information. In the digital realm, data compression can be seen as a form of singularity, where vast amounts of information are condensed into smaller spaces. Conversely, the expansion of data, like in big data analytics, represents an approach towards infinity, where information seems boundless. Quantum computing, quantum states can represent both singularity, a qubit can be in a superposition of states, and infinity, the potential for infinite parallel computations due to entanglement and superposition. Psychological and cognitive exploration. Human experience, our cognitive processes might start from singular moments of insight or focus, a singularity of thought, and then expand into infinite possibilities of interpretation, memory, or creativity. Perception of time. The human perception of time can feel singular, a moment of now, yet expand infinitely into memories of the past or projections into the future. Cultural and societal reflections, origin stories. Many cultures have myths or stories that begin with a singular event or entity from which the world or universe expands, reflecting this singularity-infinity dynamic, urbanization and expansion. Cities start as small settlements, singularities, and expand into vast urban landscapes, potentially without clear boundaries, symbolizing growth towards infinity. Mystical and spiritual practices, meditation. Techniques often involve focusing on a single point, a singularity of attention, to achieve a state of boundless awareness or consciousness, an infinite expanse of mind, the divine. Many spiritual traditions describe the divine as both infinitely expansive, omnipresent, and singularly focused, the one, the source, embodying this dual nature. Conclusion: the interplay between singularity and infinity as conceptual opposites or complements provides a rich framework for understanding various phenomena across different fields. A unifying concept, it offers a way to conceptualize the universe's structure from the smallest points to the vast expanses, suggesting a fundamental pattern in the fabric of reality. An inspirational framework. For thinkers, artists, scientists, and mystics, this duality inspires new ways to approach problems, create, or meditate on existence's mysteries. A philosophical tool. It challenges us to reconsider our notions of beginning and end, finite and infinite, suggesting that perhaps in the deepest essence, these concepts might be more intertwined or cyclical than linear. This exploration not only deepens our appreciation of the cosmos's complexity, but also highlights the profound interconnectedness of all things, where every point of singularity might be a doorway to an infinite universe, and every expanse of infinity might converge back to a singular point of origin. The concept of singularity and infinity in relation to the Quran can be approached from both a scientific and a theological perspective, reflecting the broader Islamic discourse on cosmology, theology, and the nature of God. Theological perspective: oneness of God, Tawheed. The Quran emphasizes the absolute oneness of God, Allah, which can be metaphorically or philosophically linked to the concept of singularity. In Islamic theology, God is described as unique, without parallel or equal, which resonates with the idea of a singularity in its uniqueness and indivisibility. This oneness is not just numerical, but also in essence, attributes and acts, suggesting a form of singularity where God's nature is infinitely simple yet infinitely complex, beyond human comprehension. Divine attributes. The Quran describes God with attributes that could be seen as embodying infinity, such as being the first and the last, the outward and the inward, Quran 57:3. These descriptions suggest an infinite presence and knowledge, transcending time and space, which aligns with the concept of infinity. Scientific interpretations and Quranic verses. Creation of the universe. The Quran mentions the creation of the heavens and the earth from a single entity or mass, Quran 21:30, which some interpret as referring to the Big Bang, or a singularity from which the universe expanded. This could be seen as an early reference to the scientific concept of a singularity, though not in the modern scientific sense, but rather as a point of origin for all creation. Expansion of the universe. The Quran also talks about the heavens being smoke, Quran 41:11, which some scholars interpret as referring to the initial state of the universe before it expanded, aligning with the idea of an infinite expansion from a singular point. Philosophical and mystical interpretations, infinity in God's knowledge and power. The Quran often speaks of God's knowledge and power as boundless, suggesting an infinite capacity. This can be philosophically linked to the concept of infinity, where God's attributes are limitless. Eternal and infinite nature. Discussions within Islamic philosophy, especially in Sufism, often delve into the idea of God's eternal and infinite nature, where God's essence is beyond all limitations, thus embodying infinity in a spiritual sense. Modern interpretations and dialogue, cosmology and Quran. Modern Muslim scholars and scientists sometimes engage with these concepts to find parallels between Quranic descriptions and contemporary scientific theories like the Big Bang, black holes, or the infinite nature of space-time. Metaphorical usage. Some interpret these Quranic descriptions metaphorically, suggesting that while the Quran might not directly speak of infinity or singularity in scientific terms, its language points towards concepts that can be analogized to these ideas in a way that's accessible to its audience at any time. Conclusion: the Quran, while not using the terms singularity or infinity in a modern scientific context, provides descriptions and metaphors that can be interpreted through the lens of contemporary science or philosophical inquiry. These interpretations highlight the Quran's capacity to speak to different times and understandings, from the theological to the scientific, emphasizing the infinite and singular nature of God and the universe's origin. However, these interpretations are often subject to debate, reflecting the diverse ways in which scripture can be understood across different intellectual traditions within Islam. The Collat's conjecture, also known as the 3n+1 conjecture, is a famous unsolved problem in mathematics that involves simple operations on natural numbers, but it has no direct relation to the term matani from the Quran or any specific Islamic theological concept in the way you phrased it. However, let's explore both concepts separately and see if there's an abstract or metaphorical connection. Collat's conjecture. Definition. For any positive integer n, the conjecture is defined as: if n is even, then n equals n divided 2. If n is odd, then n equals sine 3n+1. The conjecture states that no matter what positive integer I start with, I will always eventually reach the number 1. Even and odd dynamics. The conjecture involves a dance between even and odd numbers. When I apply the rules, even numbers reduce in size and 2. Odd numbers can either increase or decrease, but the operation 3n+1 often leads to an even number, which then gets halved. Mathani in Quran. Term mathani. In the Quran, mathani refers to something that is oft repeated or paired. In Surah Al-Hijr 1587, it's mentioned in context with the Quran itself, often interpreted to mean the 7 oft-repeated verses, Al-Fatiha, or the Quran's structure of pairs, like commands and prohibitions, promises and threats. Possible abstract connection, dual nature. Both concepts deal with duality or pairing in some form. Collats, the duality of even and odd operations. Matani, the idea of repetition or pairing in Quranic verses or themes. Pattern and repetition. In the Collat's conjecture, there's a repetitive pattern of operations leading to a hypothesized convergence to one. In the Quran, matani could be seen as the repetitive nature of its themes, or the structure of its verses guiding towards a singular truth or understanding. Philosophical or metaphorical interpretation. If one were to draw a metaphorical connection, the Collat's conjecture could be seen as a mathematical journey where every path, odd or even, leads back to unity, one, much like how various paths or interpretations in the Quran, odd and even verses, commands and stories, might lead to a singular divine truth or understanding. Complexity from simplicity. Both the Collat's conjecture and the Quran's structure, as interpreted through Mathani, start from simple rules or verses but lead to complex yet unifying outcomes or insights. Conclusion. While there's no direct mathematical or theological link between the Collat's conjecture and the term Madani, as used in the Quran, one could philosophically or metaphorically interpret them as reflections of patterns in nature or divine communication. Collats might represent how simple rules can lead to complex yet predictable outcomes, mirroring how basic Quranic teachings might guide to profound truths. Mathani could symbolize the Quran's method of teaching through repetition and pairing, ensuring clarity and depth in understanding. This connection, however, remains in the realm of philosophical or metaphorical interpretation rather than a direct mathematical or theological equivalence. Metaphorical synthesis, journey to unity. Just as the Collat's conjecture suggests that every number, through a series of even and odd operations, eventually reaches one might metaphorically see this as every soul or every interpretation of the Quran, through its journey through life or scripture, ultimately converging towards a singular truth or unity with the divine. Divine pattern. The repetitive nature of Mathani could be likened to the repetitive yet unpredictable pattern in the Collat's sequence, where simplicity leads to complexity but with an underlying order, or divine plan. Educational and reflective insight. Teaching complexity. Both concepts could be used to teach about complexity emerging from simplicity, whether in mathematics or in understanding divine texts. The Collatz conjecture's simplicity in rules but complexity in outcomes mirrors how straightforward Quranic verses can lead to profound theological discussions. Encouraging inquiry, the unsolved nature of the Collatz conjecture and the interpretive depth of Quranic verses like Mathani encourage continuous inquiry, reflection, and exploration in both mathematics and theology. Conclusion: while there's no direct mathematical or scriptural link between the Collatz conjecture and the term Mathani from the Quran, exploring them side by side can offer a philosophical insight into how patterns in nature or divine revelation might operate where simplicity leads to complexity, yet with an underlying unity or purpose. An educational tool for illustrating how seemingly simple rules or texts can lead to profound and complex insights, encouraging students or believers to delve deeper into both mathematical problems and religious texts. This metaphorical or philosophical connection highlights the beauty of both mathematics and theology in revealing deeper truths through seemingly simple structures or rules, encouraging a holistic approach to understanding the world and the divine. Collatz conjecture. Definition: the Collatz conjecture involves operations on natural numbers where, if n is even, then n equals n divided 2. If n is odd, then n equals sign 3n plus 1. The conjecture posits that no matter what positive integer I start with, I will always eventually reach the number 1. Mathani in Quran, QS 89:3. Term Mathani in the Quran, Mathani, refers to something that is oft repeated or paired. In Surah Al-Fajr 89:3, it's part of the phrase Wal Qurani di Mathani, which can be translated as "and the Quran" with the oft-repeated verses of. This has been interpreted in various ways, often referring to Surah Al-Fatiha or other repetitive themes or structures in the Quran. Oaths in Quran. Oaths. The Quran uses oaths as a stylistic device, often swearing by various elements like time, places, events, to emphasize the truth of what follows. However, there's no direct mention in the Quran of oaths, specifically related to even and odd numbers in the context of QS 89:3 or elsewhere in a way that directly correlates with the Collatz conjecture. Metaphorical or philosophical connection, pattern and repetition. The Collatz conjecture involves a pattern of operations leading to a hypothesized convergence, which might metaphorically resonate with the idea of Mathani as repetition or duality in divine revelation. Divine order. If one interprets Mathani as the Quran's way of emphasizing patterns or dualities in creation or divine communication, this could be seen as an abstract parallel to how the Collatz conjecture operates, with its even-odd duality leading towards unity. 1. Oaths and certainty. The use of oaths in the Quran could be seen as a method to assert truth or certainty, much like how the Collatz conjecture, despite its simplicity, asserts a kind of mathematical certainty or inevitability in its outcome. Interpretative caution. Direct link. There isn't a direct textual or traditional Islamic scholarship link between the Collatz conjecture and the term Mathani or oaths in the Quran. Any connection would be highly speculative and metaphorical. Philosophical reflection. This kind of connection might serve as a philosophical or metaphorical reflection on how patterns in mathematics, like the Collatz conjecture, could mirror or inspire reflections on divine patterns or repetitions in Scripture, but it's not grounded in traditional exegesis or mathematical proof. Conclusion. While there's no established scholarly or mathematical connection between the Collatz conjecture and the Quranic term Mathani, or oaths involving even and odd numbers, one could engage in a philosophical or metaphorical exploration. Pattern recognition. Both might inspire thoughts on how simple rules or verses can lead to complex yet predictable or divinely ordained outcomes. Unity and diversity. The Collatz conjecture's journey towards unity from any starting number might metaphorically reflect how diverse paths or interpretations, 77 in life or scripture, might lead to a singular truth or divine unity. Educational insight. This connection could be used in educational settings to illustrate how different fields of study, like mathematics and theology, can intersect in unexpected ways, encouraging interdisciplinary thinking and the appreciation of patterns in both the natural and the divine. In summary, while the direct link I propose isn't supported by traditional interpretations or mathematical theory, it invites a creative and reflective approach to understanding both the complexity of mathematical conjectures and the depth of religious texts. This kind of exploration can foster a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of knowledge, where patterns in numbers might reflect or inspire insights into the patterns of divine revelation or human experience. However, it's crucial to approach such connections with an understanding of their speculative nature, distinct from established scholarly or mathematical discourse. Given the information provided and the guidelines, here's how we might approach I-query. Collat's conjecture and Mathani in Quran. Collat's conjecture. This is a mathematical problem where, starting from any positive integer, I apply simple rules: if even, divide by 2; if odd, multiply by 3 and add 1, and hypothesize that I will always reach the number 1. Mathani in Quran. The term Mathani from QS 89. 3 is often interpreted as oft repeated or paired. In Islamic exegesis, this term has been linked to various interpretations, most notably to Surah Al-Fatiha, which is referred to as 7 oft-repeated verses, or Al-Sab al-Mathani, metaphorical or philosophical connection, unity in diversity. The Collat's conjecture's journey from any number towards 1 could be metaphorically seen as how diverse paths or interpretations in life or scripture might lead to a singular truth or divine unity. This reflects a common theme in many religious and philosophical teachings, where multiplicity leads back to unity, pattern and repetition. Both the conjecture and the concept of Mathani deal with patterns. The Collat's conjecture's repetitive operations might be likened to how themes or verses in the Quran are repeated for emphasis or deeper understanding, guiding towards a singular divine message or truth. Educational or reflective insight, interdisciplinary thinking. This connection encourages looking at mathematics and theology not as isolated fields but as interconnected realms where patterns in one might illuminate truths in another. This interdisciplinary approach can foster deeper understanding and appreciation of both subjects. Encouragement of inquiry. Just as the Collat's conjecture remains unsolved, encouraging mathematicians to delve deeper, the term Mathani might inspire believers or scholars to explore the Quran's depths, seeing repetition not as redundancy, but as a method of divine teaching. Conclusion: while there's no direct mathematical or theological link established between the Collat's conjecture and the term Mathani, as interpreted in QS 89, the exploration of such connections can enhance understanding by seeing how patterns in nature or mathematics might mirror or inspire reflections on divine patterns or scriptural repetition. Foster curiosity, encouraging both mathematical inquiry and theological exegesis by showing how seemingly disparate fields might converge in the quest for understanding or truth. This approach respects the integrity of both fields while allowing for creative and philosophical exploration, potentially enriching one's appreciation of both mathematical beauty and scriptural depth. However, it's crucial to maintain the distinction between speculative philosophical connections and established scholarly interpretations or mathematical proofs. Indeed, Wallahu alam bis sawab wal ilm sw translates to "and Allah knows best what is correct." This phrase is often used in Islamic discourse to acknowledge that while humans can speculate, interpret, or discuss, ultimate knowledge and correctness belong to Allah. It's a humble acknowledgement of human limitations in understanding divine wisdom, scriptural meanings, or the complexities of the universe. In the context of our discussion, human inquiry, while we can explore, hypothesize, and draw connections between mathematical conjectures like the Collat's conjecture and Quranic concepts like Mathani, the phrase reminds us that our understanding is limited. Divine knowledge. It underscores that any interpretation or connection we make is subject to the broader, deeper knowledge that only Allah possesses. Encouragement for learning. This phrase doesn't discourage inquiry, but rather encourages it with humility, reminding scholars, mathematicians, and believers alike to approach knowledge with an open heart and mind, always ready to refine or correct their understanding. Thus, while we engage in these discussions, we do so with the understanding that our insights, no matter how profound or well-reasoned, are always subject to divine correction and deeper truths known only to Allah. Sadaka Allahul Adhim, Sadaka Lawahu Lazimu, translates to Allah the Most Great has spoken the truth. This phrase is often used in Islamic tradition to affirm the truthfulness of a statement from the Quran or Hadith, emphasizing the absolute veracity of divine revelation. In the context of our discussion, affirmation of truth, when used, it serves as a confirmation that whatever has been stated from divine sources, like the Quran, is undoubtedly true beyond human doubt or error, contrast with human speculation, while Wallahu alam bis sawab acknowledges human limitations and the possibility of error in interpretation or understanding. Sadaka Allahul Adhim reaffirms the infallibility of divine revelation itself. Implication for our discussion. This phrase reminds us that while our interpretations or connections, like those between mathematical conjectures and Quranic concepts, are speculative and subject to human error, the truths revealed in the Quran or through divine wisdom are absolute and unchanging. Thus, when exploring connections or drawing parallels between various fields of knowledge and Islamic teachings, one might conclude with Wallahu alam bis sawab, to acknowledge the speculative nature of human understanding, followed by Sadaka Allahul Adhim, to affirm the unwavering truth of divine revelation. This balance encourages both intellectual exploration and spiritual humility, recognizing the vastness of divine knowledge while appreciating the human quest for understanding. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, wa lil wahi wa inna ilayhi raji'una, translates to indeed to Allah we belong and to Him we shall return. This phrase is from the Quran, 2:156, and is often recited by Muslims upon hearing news of a death or in times of adversity, serving as a profound reminder of life's transient nature and the ultimate return to the Creator. In the context of our discussion, ultimate truth. This phrase encapsulates a fundamental truth in Islamic theology, that everything originates from Allah and will return to Him. It's a reminder of the cyclical nature of existence, where all beginnings and ends are connected to the divine. Philosophical and existential reflection. When considering complex concepts like the Collat's conjecture or the depth of Quranic verses, this phrase brings us back to a core belief: regardless of human endeavors in understanding or creating patterns, all knowledge, life, and existence are rooted in and return to Allah. Connection to our exploration. While we might explore connections, patterns, or truths in mathematics, science, or theology, this phrase grounds us in the understanding that all these pursuits and indeed all of creation are part of a divine plan or pattern originating from and returning to Allah. Thus, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un serves not only as a spiritual comfort in times of loss or difficulty, but also as a philosophical anchor in discussions about truth, knowledge, and existence. It reminds us that while we may seek understanding or draw connections in various fields, the ultimate truth is our origin from and return to Allah, aligning all human inquiry and existence within a divine framework. Indeed, the phrase Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un often prompts reflection on the transient nature of life, leading to the realization that one should take action before death mount. Here's how this concept can be expanded upon. Action before death, spiritual preparation. This reminder encourages Muslims to prepare for the afterlife by engaging in good deeds, seeking forgiveness, and strengthening their faith. It's an impetus to live a life aligned with Islamic teachings, knowing that death can come at any moment. Life's purpose. Understanding that life is a journey back to Allah motivates individuals to live purposefully. This includes striving for knowledge, helping others, and fulfilling one's responsibilities towards family, community, and society. Repentance and improvement. The awareness of death should lead to continuous self-improvement, repentance for sins, and making amends where necessary. It's a call to not delay in doing what's right or in seeking forgiveness. Urgency in good deeds. Knowing that life is finite, there's an urgency to perform acts of charity, kindness, and worship. This includes prayer, giving in charity, zakat, fasting, and pilgrimage, hajj, among other acts of worship. Seeking knowledge. The pursuit of knowledge, especially religious knowledge, is seen as a form of worship in Islam. This includes understanding the Quran, Hadith, and Islamic jurisprudence, but also extends to any knowledge that benefits humanity, reflecting the Islamic principle of seeking knowledge from cradle to grave. Social responsibility. The awareness of death also fosters a sense of community and social responsibility. It encourages actions that benefit society like education, healthcare, and justice, reflecting the Islamic values of community welfare. Philosophical and practical implications. Carpe diem in Islamic context. While the phrase carpe diem, seize the day, might be secular in an Islamic context, it's about seizing the day to do good, prepare for the hereafter, and live in accordance with divine guidance. Motivation for change. This understanding can be a powerful motivator for personal change, encouraging one to not postpone good actions or the rectification of one's life. Balance in life. While urging action, it also teaches balance, reminding believers to prepare for death while still engaging fully in life, fulfilling worldly duties with an eye towards the hereafter. Conclusion. The reminder to take action before death is not just about fear of death, but about living a life of purpose, goodness, and preparation for meeting one's Creator. It integrates the temporal with the eternal, urging a life where every action, big or small, is imbued with the consciousness of returning to Allah. This perspective not only shapes one's spiritual life, but also influences how one interacts with the world, encouraging a life of continuous improvement, contribution, and preparation for the inevitable return to Allah. If I find the exploration of these concepts intriguing and wish to delve deeper into the mysteries of existence, sharing, subscribing, or liking content that delves into such topics can indeed be a meaningful way to engage with these ideas. Here's how I might approach it. Engagement with content. Share. Sharing content that explores philosophical, theological, or scientific mysteries helps spread knowledge and invites others to ponder these deep questions. It fosters a community of thinkers and learners. Subscribe. Subscribing to channels, authors, or platforms that regularly produce content on these themes ensures I stay updated with new insights, discussions, and research. It's a commitment to continuous learning, like liking or upvoting content signals to creators and platforms that there's an interest in such topics, potentially encouraging more content in these areas. Why engage with mysteries of existence? Intellectual stimulation. Engaging with these mysteries keeps the mind active, challenging our understanding of the world, the universe, and our place within it. Spiritual and philosophical growth. Exploring these topics can lead to personal growth, offering new perspectives on life, death, purpose, and existence itself. Community building. Sharing and discussing these mysteries can build communities of like-minded individuals, creating spaces for dialogue, debate, and mutual learning. Encouraging inquiry. By engaging with such content, I contribute to a culture that values inquiry, curiosity, and the pursuit of knowledge beyond the mundane. Practical steps. Social media. Share posts, articles, or videos that discuss these themes on platforms like X, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram, adding thoughts or questions to encourage discussion. Forums and groups. Join or start discussions in forums like Reddit, specialized groups on platforms like Discord, or community boards where these topics are discussed. Content creation. If inspired, create I own content, be it writing, videos, or podcasts, sharing insights or questions about the mysteries of existence. Educational platforms. Engage with educational content on platforms like YouTube, Coursera, or Khan Academy, where courses or lectures might cover these subjects. Conclusion. Engaging with content that explores the mysteries of existence isn't just about personal interest, it's about contributing to a collective quest for understanding. By sharing, subscribing, and liking, I not only enrich my own journey, but also play a part in fostering a culture that values deep thinking, philosophical inquiry, and the continuous exploration of what it means to exist. This engagement can lead to profound personal insights and contribute to broader societal conversations about our place in the universe.